Greetings, good people. My name is Adan, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Elevate Festival, right here in the incredible, amazing West End. We have gathered this day to bring to you some incredible poets, some wordsmiths, some storytellers, and I'm excited for what you're about to hear. To kick this thing off, it is my pleasure to come to you first and say, Dear West End, we embrace these streets like a best friend, hoping that we can extend your life, while city planners place your real estate fate on a plate with a fork and knife and give the unseasoned a large, disproportionate slice. But see, try as they might to heist the jewels from the black pool of genius, we archive our art as a capsule to keep it. Uncle Remus, Wren's Nest. May 19th, Malcolm X Fest. For so long, we have been this city's sole secret that was best kept. I mean, we lit without Sherman, we spit with mouth burning, black intelligentsia to black Catholicism, vegetarian, beacon, alcoholism, we Christian, we Islam, we Rasta, we Hebrew, we Shrine of the Black Madonna, I promise, we see you. I 20, Zone 4. Lee Street and Abernathy, Southwest Atlanta too strong. Back when Laurie was Ashby, working class tenacity meets black bourgeoisie. We Dean Rusk, we Brown Middle, we Soul Veg, we Tassilis. I love you. Please believe me, long before you had the bike lanes and the breweries, I'm talking Club 559, Chanterelles, the mall, West End, jewelry. The only place that could ever move me, the rich culture here indoors, it is the diaspora on display. It is the West End. Sincerely, yours.
A pandemic and America's favorite virus all pull up this summer, and don't it start to feel like hell? Last year was a hot girl summer. This year, the breath of Breonna Taylor evaporates while our killers make her summer vacation plans. Last week, Oluwa Toyin dies at the hands of a black man whose rights she was fighting for, her voice too hoarse from the protest to be heard by hands that should have protected her. The no-knock warrant that ended Breonna Taylor's life is still the sizzling reality of every black woman who fears for her life daily. Still armed with mace, still armed with a knife, a taser, a gun, still trying to sleep in her home unbothered, still trying to walk to her car unnoticed, shot dead while still wiping sweat off her head for a movement that will not fight as hard for her name. I find it no coincidence that America's thermometer on black life comes into question this summer, how sick it should be of leaving black bodies cold, how sore the throat of a black woman must be trying to fight for her life. How have we become so immune to it when every black man claims to protect black women? How does the assault continue to spread? Who then is the carrier of the disease when our mouths are overflowing with hate speech to describe black women? How is language not the torch? How is the stereotype not the flame? A black girl should not have to die before we decide to stop calling her out of her name. No one's sister should have to be casket sharp before we see her body as more than a place for our fantasies to die in. Ain't it the shame that black girl flourish is so synonymous with violence that black women have flipped the script? Always beat, always slayed, just a reminder that the praise of another black woman is sometimes the only thing still keeping her alive. Ain't it the shame that this summer, Breonna Taylor, Oluwa Toyin, they don't get to put their toes in the sand. They don't get to put on a two-piece and call themselves more than just a snack on Instagram. Instead, they are just beat. Instead, they are just slayed. Black man, how many of her tears must turn into clouds before you recognize the cycle? Would you still have called her by her name when she was still alive? America, if a black girl is killed by police, does her magic keep her alive? Must her ghost come to the protest to make sure her story is actually heard? Someone tell me, who stands in the heat with a black woman when her testimony is discredited, when her body is assaulted by a man you know, when her skin is riddled with bullets? Must she always be the only one feeling the humidity of all the black women silenced before her.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Again, welcome to the Elevate Festival. You just heard the good homie Jon Goode, an incredible poet, storyteller, with a very timely piece for this day and time. I'm excited about who I'm about to introduce. She's an incredible poet. She hails right here from Atlanta, Georgia. Give it up for the one and only, Miss Lou.
I was born and raised in the dirty South. And where I'm from, the only thing dirty about my streets was some outskirts. Because on the inside, we had community, love for one another. Type of neighborhood that no matter what block you lived on, I considered you a sister or a brother. But it wasn't until I stepped out the outskirts of my neighborhood where I realized that I was from Decatur, where it's greater depending on your color. And for a long time, the only thing that shielded me from that reality was my mother, who told me that if I wanted to fly, she would sew me wings. So she did. She stayed up all night making them out of her dreams because she wanted me to soar to a new height. Told me that if I wanted to reach the sky, I didn't need Delta in order to make that flight. So when I got older, I packed my bags full of all of the possibilities of the things that I could be. And I entered into a world that unfortunately only saw my skin color when it looked at me. And after looking around at all the limited opportunities that were designated for me, well, let's just say my bag of possibilities got lighter and lighter. My future started looking dim when I promise you it had once seemed brighter, and I found myself trying to conform to this Anglo-Saxon culture that was different from mine. Bowing down to assimilation because I couldn't find my spine. And mama, I promise, I was just trying to reach the other side of the railroad tracks. And even though I hate to admit it, once I crossed over, it was never my intentions on looking back. But I was brainwashed into thinking that if I wanted to move up like the Jeffersons, I had to forget about the good times. Purchase myself a new identity with my few rusted pennies and my few rusted dimes. No symbiosis between me and who I used to be, because the two could never exist, because only one is correct. So I told myself, I said, Lou, you will not let them see your curly hair, and you will not let them hear your native dialect. And at the end of the day, mama, all I really wanted to do was just make you proud of me. That somehow in my quest for success, I lost my identity. And where do broken identities go? Can they find their way home? I realized that I was running away from the only place in which I truly belong. I had forgot about all of the beauty I had left behind, searching for this so-called American peace of mind. I had taken my degree and a whole bunch of materialistic things, and I tried to hide, forgetting that the things that truly shape me are the intangible things on the inside. But now I realize that it is not my skin color that puts me at this social or economical disadvantage. It was my mentality, thinking that I needed to act white in order to have upward mobility. But now I realize that I don't have to look like my sister to my left, and I don't have to act like my sister to my right. And I thank God for making me perfectly in his image every night. I have learned how to adapt instead of transform. Celebrate my differences that separate me from the norm. I am no longer a puppet. I have cut those strings because I learned a long time ago that the sky is the limit. In order to reach it, all I have to do is just dust off my wings.
Don't we all just have to dust off our wings? My name, again, is Adan, and I hope you're enjoying the Elevate Festival right here in the incredible West End. Coming up next, we have the incredible, gifted wordsmith, Mr. James Lofton. I'm so excited for what you're about to hear. We are going to paint it all black.
Paint it all black. The crisp color of your uncle's collarbone. The one who bronzes the ribs at family barbecues each summer as his daddy did and his daddy's daddy. Paint all of that shit black. Auntie's pound cake, the cups of crown, Al Green booming in the backyard. See fling fingers full of your mother's favorite flower over fetid fields, where brown bodies are birthed in prayer and silenced in a spray of bullets within seconds of showing no signs of being armed, but in full possession of blackness, a pasture where Tupac yells young niggas over vintage vinyl, and all the great Spades partners got a guaranteed spot in heaven's ghetto. Paint the deaf black. The weeping boy with the Nashin gold grill. See, he cracks a smile while dying on the inside. The mother who hugs and holds her son's memory. He was only 22, his body an equation of bullets, 6 carry the 2. Sounds like the time 16 bullets were sent after Fannie Lou. Paint all of that shit black. The complicit silence, the protest of a pining people. Every notch that has lynched the breath from the neck of a nigga, the juke joints, where gangs and ghosts go to drive all night long. Where a dance goes before the death. Where a necrotic paradise is looking for a home, a bed, a willing vessel, and the world shouts, show us your hands, your fro, your frightened but sizzling fist. And Fox News shouts, show us your skin between the teeth of pit bulls and alleyways, nigga, show us your glory in the hereafter once the nail barks. Show us your glory, sing about servitude, rap about love, and never let them forget. You have always forgiven them, no matter how many seats have been left empty at your dinner table as the years have gone by. If there is smoke, then there must be something, somebody burning, some black boy who's gone and lent his bones to some street fire turned shooting, turned his mother from widower into nothing. For what do you call a woman that loses her child? What decorated frame do you place her tears in? Turned white American satire, a giggle gone godless, a hijacked joke draped between the lines of the Second Amendment. She traipsed into a traitorous house looking for humanity and humanity's God. She lists the black girls who ain't ever laid their backs against the gurneys of hashtags, recites their souls, trace over their ghosts with your teeth. See how easily America always makes the black woman a haunting, too heavy of a goddess to pray to or for, damned her joy into a pearl coffin, flipped her over and asked her for ass and assets, left her with absence. And we wonder why the street sobs sound so familiar. The same chorus our mother Smile sung when it went all mystery on us, when she left us a bouquet of clouds and a face full of tears.
Ladies and gentlemen, oh my goodness, that was the incredible James Lofton with If There Is Smoke. I hope y'all are enjoying the Elevate Festival. Again, my name is Adan Bean, and you've heard this incredible poet who was about to come up. You've heard her before. We are in for a treat once again about right now what's happening in this election cycle. Give it up for Miss Lou.
They just wanted the right to vote. A right that should have been granted to their ancestors as soon as they stepped off the boat. But see, who wants to give a voice to those who you're trying to oppress? So you got politicians talking about everything under the sun except for the things that they need to address. So what they do, they marched. They marched with picket signs in their hands and a dream in their hearts. They marched with the end in mind before they even hit the streets to start. Hearts were pounding with every step that they took, but they kept on marching. Pressing past all the negative remarks that were being said, they marched, leaving behind young children with the words, "It's going to be okay." Letting them know that they may not understand what's happening right now, but they will understand one day. They will understand how a person could endure being hit with billy clubs until blood drips down their face. They will understand how they were able to get back up in order to prove that they were equal race. See, tear gas wasn't gonna stop them. Failed attempts wasn't gonna block them. They would be back as many times as it took, with even greater numbers than before. They would be back with more courage and more strength to endure. See, they were heroes. Heroes who left home not knowing whether or not they would return back. But see, you don't get Purple Hearts for fighting for the rights of blacks. No, you get taught lessons. like the Jimmy Lees, the James Reeves, and the Amelia Boytons, who never survived to tell their story. But they made sure that even in death, hatred would never get the glory. They marched. They marched from Selma to Montgomery. They marched a 54-mile journey, they marched. They marched tired and weary. Tired and weary, they marched. They marched sleeping in nearby fields, they marched. Until they got Washington's attention, they marched. Until a change came, they marched. We got an election coming up. I pray that you do not let their marching be in vain.
Give it up once again for the incredible Miss Lou. She killed that piece, and I'm so excited that she was here in this cipher in lieu of the untimely passing of our own personal superhero, the remarkable life of Chadwick Boseman. I'm excited that our very own Jon Goode put pen to paper and crafted this remarkable piece called Wakanda People. With no further ado, let's hear from the man himself, Jon Goode.
What kind of people are we? A nation stripped from its fertile mother and taught to believe that her womb was barren. I'm thankful now that we know the truth, that we are not targeted because we are weak, but because we are strong. This is not a poem about what this nation has done to us or what they continue to do every day. I will not praise anyone for their decision to let me live. But in this moment, I will pay homage to the decisions we have made about what to do with this very breath. I'm proud of our decision to call our hair beautiful, to grow it as long and as free as the stories of our elders. I'm thankful for our music, for our ability to stretch our body into any genre that commands us to dance and to create new genres for the sake of keeping us dancing. Lord knows who would turn any place with both ingredients into an altar of jubilee. I honor the way we acknowledge our loss, ink our skin, march our feet, wear their faces, chant their names, anything to let this world know their spirit has not been buried with them. Each morning, I thank God for the marvel that is the black woman. Her voice be the only thing besides God that quickens me to correction. I watch her cross her legs and drink cold red wine. Watch as the light bounce between her highlight and her smile and call it holy. What kind of woman is this? Her skin be the softest brown thing on this planet. So tonight I write a poem, a verse, a scripture, anything with healing language for my people, for the women that make baby sound like king, for the boys that make partner sound like general. Shout out to the people with 3 different hustles that grew an extra arm for the sake of eating better and feeding the folk that come after them. Shout out to the black men who are taking care of their families, who are still raining down love in a climate with a broken water cycle, because this is the spread of black excellence. It is a table with dozens of cuisines, thousands of stories, and generations of oppression that have been stewed into joy. This is every touchdown dance honoring a boy from the hood. Every foot finding its rhythm in honor of a union of black love. This is me and my friends linking arms and swag surfing into our dreams, because whatever we do, I pray that we do together. And if race is a part of our eternal destiny, I can't wait to be black forever. What kind of people are we? I'm not sure the right word has been presented, but judging by our history, I'm pretty sure one day we will invent it.
Oh man, it gets no better. We keep elevating and elevating and elevating. And that's why we call it the Elevate Festival right here in West End. Oh, I am so excited to introduce to you our next poet in this here cipher, the remarkable, the beautiful, the wonderful spirit, Kemi Bennings.
Get up now to your waking life, where every day makes an impact on your life's imprint. Striving to be the you that you were meant to be. Footprints of yours that you could see, showing that you actually walked this earth. Gave birth to something in writing and doing and in being. Love, overboard. Openly indulging in the kaleidoscope of human family. Quilted generations of faith, time, progress, and change hadn't always been cute, and God knows change hadn't been easy. But the ashes of those shoulders we walk upon and whose footprints we try on are relying on us. Native tongue, native sunshine on thee, rightfully, magically in the midst of change, sparing change so the generations can speak. Spoken words in high definition, spiritual ammunition, moving, creating evolution in space and time. empowering mind-altering mental blockages, awakening giants. I am why the caged bird sings, feeling good vibrations of God flowing through me. Possibly I am the change I seek, freeing me, moving out of my way. I am the bright today, calling myself into my soul's purpose. Birthing dreams, it seems, cast universal light beams. Take flight, warp speed for humanity's calling. And while global warming is occurring, crying daily news blues of unheard of shootings and shootings and shootings and shootings and Myanmar cyclones, and yes, body remains toxic, chemical, whimsical newscasters, political, lyrical mix masters, blasting blasphemy and hypocrisy, casting net profits for the highest unethical crimes. Yet we sublime to better days that don't seem to come around, while we still stand around on every corner. But a change is gonna come when united we stand for. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Vote. People need people, and we are those people. Mere pixels in the mind frame of existence, oscillating and vibrating at fifth-dimensional frequencies, yet we are but one pixel. Contingent upon another pixel, contingent upon another, awaiting each other to ignite the flame in each other, removing selfishness and blame, removing the face of guilt and shame, and embracing freedom for the very first time. Freedom for the very first time. Rewinding time, existing in the essence of our being. Seeing past the illusion of fear. Are we just existing, or are we here? People, what are we doing? What are we doing right now? Are we wearing our crowns or selling our souls? Are we wearing our crowns or selling our souls? Trying to instill in our children what we don't have in ourselves? Are we wearing our crowns or selling our souls? Calling all souls! Calling all souls! Ancient spirit warriors, the chosen ones, we that choose to walk boldly in this land, cast our feet upon the royal sands of time, traveling this road less traveled, being amongst the ranks of change, revolutionaries, revolutionizing, remembrance, remembering who we are, gods and goddesses, witnesses of truth, and I'm vibrating for humanity, I'm vibrating for peace, I'm vibrating for love, vibrating for universal family. We are but one pixel, oscillating and vibrating at fifth-dimensional frequencies, awaiting each other to ignite the flame in each other, removing selfishness and blame, removing the face of guilt and shame, and embracing freedom for the very first time. Black Lives Matter, and Black Lives Matter, and Black Lives Matter, and but we got our own issues, and we got our own issues, and Black Lives Matter, and Black Lives Matter, and but we got our own issues, and we got our own issues, and Black Lives Matter.
My name is Adan Bean again, and to close out this Elevate Festival, I want to talk to you about symbolic victories. They will tell you that it is just a statue, that these are simply vestiges of white supremacists, remnant, that which is left over, often stronger than what was there before. Civil War's pot liquor, but ain't no healing in this broth. The Confederate flag is America's swastika, cut from the same cloth. For over a century, we have raised our glasses to the losers. We have toasted traitors and tipped our caps to constitutional abusers. We let democracy dance with the daughters of the Confederacy. And now, the reckoning. It feels unsettling, threatening, like a knee on your neck by those sworn to serve and protect, like using the last gasp of your breath to scream for a mother who is dead. Big Floyd just wanted to touch the world. And you can see it happening on the face of his beautiful little girl. Streets across the globe have been filled to the brim in support of BLM, social unrest. This is a necessary societal function. But see, the little known secret is that growth often resembles destruction. Can be beginnings, reinventions, reimaginings onto a blank canvas. And so, in honor of George, we are not taking this life for granted. However, we are taking down the granite, marble, and bronze stone memorials that have tried to honor that which is deplorable. We are courting the good trouble of racial justice and equality in a manner that is historical. They will tell you that it is just a statue, that these coming down are just symbolic victories. But if the past is prologue, then the preface to our future is history. And 2020 appears to be the year that, much like perfect sight, we might finally begin to see things clear. It's the Elevate Festival, West End.